Hello and welcome for another edition of Business Connect. The Mauritius Revenue Authority is going digital after the success of e-filing. New services are being developed and implemented. That's our top story for this week. The MRA is pursuing its endeavour to provide high-quality services to all its stakeholders through an effective and efficient use of digital technology. The success of the electronic filing of tax returns acted as a catalyst for new services to be developed and new systems are implemented. MRA also goes mobile, where most users are connected. A significant investment has been made in new digital systems, and a new form of tax collection will soon be implemented. In the next report, we see the evolution of MRA towards the digital world.
At the headquarters of the Mauritius Revenue Authority on a normal day, barely anyone is queuing to pay tax, unlikely to what it used to be a few years ago. Does that mean that the MRA has stopped collecting taxes?
We have applied all the technologies that we could to modernize MRA administration so that we can go to paperless, ease taxpayer services, and then to provide payment for e-payment.
The MRA, pursuing its aim of tax collection as per legislations, is improving its services, making them more taxpayer-centric.
So, Mr. Suna, since a few years, MRA has been talking about e-filing and other electronic ways of doing filing for tax purposes, revenue collection, all that. Now we're talking about digital MRA. What is digital MRA?
You're going to launch a mobile app to cater for the collection of contribution from Ministry of Social Security. So basically it will affect all the employers in Mauritius that they can use that mobile app to file the return for contribution, and subsequently after they can do the e-payment part. So this is the trend, the near-term trend.
So you're talking about people moving to mobile devices and tablets and all that. Have you seen a trend which makes you believe that people now are willing to use those devices, especially for tax purposes?
Mobile app hasn't started today or is starting today or yesterday. We started it a year ago. But for what app, for which application, for which tax type, you have to wait for the right market, for the right demand, for the right people with the right knowledge. So this is the appropriate time for the appropriate collection, for the appropriate technology, for appropriate return.
Okay, now tell us in practice how it's going to work.
That app will be downloaded on a mobile for the employer, and at that point in time you will be asked for his username and password. That's the first thing. Once the username and password is validated, the return that he had submitted before at Ministry of Social Security will be displayed in front of him as pre-filled return. And then the employer will make sure that the data displayed there are correct, and he or she may add new employees, put them in the right pay code, and the system will automatically calculate the NPF, NSF, and the levy. And once it's agreeable to the amount, at that point in time, he has a choice to submit that return or leave it for next day, or if he hasn't finished, he submit it, and then subsequently he can do the payment to the mobile also.
Mm-hmm. What about the taxpayers? Will they be able to use that also?
The reason we have, in fact, picked that tax type also, we call it collection for contribution, is because we are going to la masse. So going to people who are maybe not used to IT so much, but however, they use their mobile all the time. So we anticipate that we won't have many issues concerning using a PC, using a mobile is more like everybody has a tool like that. Everybody has one. You know, Mauritius, I think it's one per capita already, so we expect nobody will have any issue on that.
While modernizing its services and adapting it to the current trends, the MRA is moving to mobile. That is where more users are connected.
We know that through the internet, online, people they are going to fill their forms and all that. There's a lot of exchange of information. What kind of security aspects have you taken into consideration for that?
Even for e-filing of any return that we do provide a username password. This is the first authentication. Second, whenever the person is submitting, the submission of a return is not allowed after someone has submitted. So either way, if somebody, for whatever reason, think that somebody else has done it, it can easily be detected. And so far, we have not received such a complaint. And for authentication purposes, it's good. For encryption and for session management, meaning that if somebody leaves this application without stagnant, without typing anything, then the system would log you off for mobile. So in some way, it's good for a cafe, for example. If you leave it there, somebody else will come. Maybe if you didn't log off properly, in that case, the system would lock after 5 or 10 minutes. The session is about 30 minutes. Like most probably everybody knows whenever they do the e-filing, after 30 minutes, if you stay idle or even get 30 minutes, you have to finish your return. What the taxpayer sees, the data that he or she enters, is validated because it's not on paper. So everything is validated before submission. So that's already the quality of data that's coming in. At the back end, that means the processing of those data that is being done at the back end, those data are counter-verified with third-party information. So we expect that we will promote compliance at the end of the day when it's electronic. The more information we have, it's best for the country because everybody is going to pay its fair share.
All applications are being developed by MRA's Information System Department by highly qualified professionals. And to improve the system, MRA has invested significantly in a modern and faster platform called SAP HANA, which accommodates up-to-date technologies seamlessly. This major upgrade has paved the way to address MRA's needs for the next 5 years. MRA is also focusing on training of its staff to properly manage the new digital system. All security aspects have been taken into consideration. The dream of the MRA is to have a 100% tax-compliant society. Besides setting up the right legislations, MRA aims to track transactions through e-invoicing in such a way that tax evasion, money laundering and entry of illegal drugs and narcotics would become practically impossible. This will promote a tax-compliant culture whereby taxpayers can file their return and pay taxes effortlessly.